and happy Monday, and it is your favorite time of the week. It's time for the next installment of the opening kick with my man Gerald Smoke Dixon.
You thought you had me frozen for a second, didn't you?
You did the freeze pretty good, man. I was a little nervous. I saw the grin move just a hair though, and I knew we were safe. Smoke, how we doing on this Monday evening, my good sir?
You know what? I am doing title happy today. That's what I got over my shoulder, And then over my good shoulder, I got my survivor of the day, Coach Time.
Nice.
Deion Sanders. There's only a few jerseys around that hangs up around my house.
It's very ironic. You've got the man right behind you, the legend from Maryland and one Lenny Bias. But man, it is ironic that you've got the Sanders jersey up today. There was some big news out of Colorado when Prime had a press conference. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting something different. But we're going to kick off the show. We got a lot of college football news going on. Look, guys, this is the week. Fall camp. Let me put it in quotes. Fall camp in 100-degree weather. If you call it fall, you're a sadistic, crazy bastard. It is not fall. It is hot as hell camp. Starting all across the South in college football. Maybe it's a little cooler for those teams up north like Michigan and Penn State. Hey, Penn State fans, stay around. We might mention you guys a little bit later as well.
Petty, it's a summertime everywhere. It's hot.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's preparation for fall camp. Preparation.
Speaking of hot, Tampa reached the 100-degree mark for the first time in history yesterday.
That's it?
Yeah. First time in history that Tampa saw 100 degrees. You usually get breezes. There's no breezes right now.
Man, it's 100 degrees right now in Tennessee, my friend.
But look, tough as nails. Everybody get in that chat. Fire those questions off. Hit that like and subscribe. If you're on Twitter X, come on over right now. Hit that like and subscribe. We got tons of content coming to you this week. I think we got a pretty big guest with us tomorrow night. But, man, like I said, we got a jam-packed show tonight. We're going to talk Saban and Burns speak out on Trump's Save College Football bill. Jay Billis also speaks out. Then we're going to speak out. And, man, rolled off. ESPN is expecting a prime time like impact from Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Smoke thinks there may be a different reason for that than why people tuned in to see Deion at Colorado. Then I saw an interesting ranking from SEC contenders for the college football crown. And is there a surprise at number one? Again, then we're going to finish it up. We got fall camp kicking off. What are the biggest storylines going on in the SEC and across the nation? Tune in, get your popcorn ready, hit that like and subscribe. Smoke, you told us, okay, we've already got questions coming in.
You know what, Petty, as soon as you finish that, just because I love to answer great questions.
You want to go ahead and hop in? You want to just go ahead and hit this one out the gate?
You know what, tough as nails, you've always been my number one friend, as tough as you are. Smoke, are you taught as a defensive back to commit a penalty to prevent a big play?
Great question.
Here's what I would tell you, and here's what I've always taught my defensive back. Cut the head off the snake. Don't let the snake bite you. So if it's only a 15-yard penalty and you know that you're about to give up the strike the band play, yeah, go ahead and pull them and say next play. I'll give you my story. So we were playing my senior year down in Baton Rouge against Nick Saban and the LSU Tigers. Coming out of it, Mark Clayton. Yeah, was it Mark? What Clayton was it? No. It was a Clayton that played for LSU. Either way, receiver.
I think that was it.
Is Mark? Either way, he stemmed me outside and banged across my face on a post. And he had a step on me. I didn't really grab him, but I had my arm around his waist just to prevent to go up and batted it down. They called a penalty on that play. That was their only chance all night that Clayton had on me to beat me. So I wasn't going to give up that opportunity. Got the penalty. It was 15 yards. They had to go. They went 3 and out the next play, punted the ball. We went ahead and scored. We beat LSU 31-0. I remember coming over to the sideline, talking to Coach Thurman, at that time our defensive back coach, wonderful friend, phenomenal coach. He's now at Oklahoma State as an analyst on the offensive side, but we talk every single day about that one play. And the whole thing was, Smoke, cut the head off the snake. Don't let the snake bite you. If you're going to give one up, don't give it up early. And if you're beat because you guessed wrong, it's okay. It's not like the NFL. They're not going to place the ball at where you had the penalty at. They're only going to give you 15 yards. So play another down. So, yes, I would teach that if they're beat, but I don't teach do it every time. It's getting yourself out of jail, free card, one time.
And I've always felt that was the right call because, like you said, 15 yards versus a touchdown. How much does that change once you get to the NFL, though? I mean, it's a huge, then it's a spot penalty. Does your mindset change?
You know what? If you are beat so bad and the guy's running by you because you guessed on a double move, I've always taught a slight bump to knock them off, and if they call the penalty, so what? But I've never taught just to reach out and grab. I've always had something to go with it. Just even with mine, it's a hand trick. So I'm gonna tug your waist slightly to impede your path, and then if they call one, so what? If they don't, I got to step back up onto you, and I've caught back up to you.
Great question to get us going. Like I said, TJ, what's up again? Hit that like and subscribe. I said we had a special guest coming up tomorrow. If you don't know, go look ahead. It is 5-star linebacker, #1 recruit at the position in the country. Xavier Griffin will be with us tomorrow night on the Bama Standard. So hit that like and subscribe. You don't want to miss the great content that is coming your way this week on this network. Because, guys, like I said, football season's here. We're here, and we're ready to go. But you know who's always ready to go, Smoke? That's Lamstone Company.
Oh,
you got to go. You got the ones keep the lights on first, and then we'll go to the ones that keep us dry in this 1,000-degree heat. That's realrockstone.com. Check them out today after the show, of course. That's one Lamstone Company. Have you dreamed of having that beautiful natural stone in or around your home? Well, now's the time. Don't hesitate. Located in Aniana, Alabama, one of the oldest, most trusted sources in the state. And if you tell them we sent you using the promo code the Bama Standard, you'll receive 20% off your purchase of stone today. Don't miss out. And like my man Smoke, he's showing you over there. It's 100 degrees outside. We say have it ready for game day. You need it now. Go to whitwillsports.com today. Tell them the promo code Standard. Get 20% off that title towel. Get it in the mail before the weekend because, guys, it is blazing all over. Like my man Smoke said, it's 100 degrees from Maine to Florida, it feels like. And this title towel will help you get through those dog days of summer. Like I said, whitwillsports.com, one of the best. Check them out. Give them the promo code Standard. But with that said, Smoke, we got some stuff to talk about. You mentioned it out of the gate, the man over your shoulder. Deion Sanders, when we get was I don't have the comments pulled up. I saw you laugh. What happens when we enter the promo code Smoke?
Discount.
And unless you got 10 sticky fingers of straight imitation.
I'm trying to get the 110% code. I haven't figured that out yet. So when I get the 110% code, that's what happens. That's you know what? That's the code they need to put in there, the smoke code. That'll get it shooting up. I'll come and install it myself. I'll deliver it and install it myself if you get that code.
There you go. Bama Standard, that is your answer, Mr. Riley. Look, press conference got called today, and this is a shining example of life that wait till something happens before you make some preconceived notions, because I'm going to be Henry's guy for a moment. I like to be clairvoyant. I'm not a hypocrite.
Tell on yourself, Pettey. Tell on yourself.
Tell on myself. I heard this news that Deion was having a press conference, and we hadn't heard much. He hadn't been recruiting in Colorado. It's kind of gotten quiet out there. And I said, okay, this is it. Everybody was kind of giving him the hard time, claiming he was going to leave once his sons left. And, that would be too easy. I said, but, he's had health problems since Jackson State. Hell, I think he had to have a toe amputated. He's been dealing with some stuff. And I said, okay, he's going to have one of his doctors say it's kind of getting rough again. And this is his chance to kind of bail out of Colorado before it gets too tough. I'm an asshole. Shame on me. I turned on the press conference, and we come to find out that one of the greatest athletes, arguably the greatest, him and Bo were the guys of our lifetime, just beat bladder cancer. The man's had 14 operations. He had his bladder taken out. He's lost like 22 pounds. And not only that, he's committed to being back on the sideline with Buffalo. This is one of those, I think, pivotal moments where anybody, even the cynical assholes like me in the world that question, someone before they hear A, wait till you hear the news, but B, if you question Deion at this point, it's on the man in the mirror. Like, this is absolutely, look, man, if you lived in my generation, you loved what he did on the field. But people have questioned his commitment to coaching. Was he doing it before because of his kids? Was he doing it for whatever reasons? And I think today this man just showed what his love for this sport, what it is for educating the next generation, regardless if it has his last name on the jersey or what. It was really a big pivotal moment in the career of one of the biggest icons that we've ever watched. Smoke, I know this man means a lot to you. You played the position, played it at the level, but I also know this was a guy that you looked up to. I mean, you had to, right?
Oh, listen, I am the number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times Deion Sanders fan. Like I said, my man, it's autographed.
Right.
I don't know if you see it. It's autographed, and I got the. You remember when I think it was, I forget the company that used to put out the baseball cards or the football cards. That was like a 3D football card. You remember those? I think it was Pinnacle that did those. So if any of my card collectors are out there, they know what I'm.
Were they gold on the outside?
You know what? I have a copy of it over there. If you want me to go grab, you want me to go grab it real quick?
Go grab it real quick.
One second.
We'll talk about Ephraim with a great comment. Listen, fam, everybody get your annual checkup. There's no doubt. Like, we're getting to that age, guys. Prostate stuff starts kicking in. Going to the bathroom a few extra times at night. Keep a check, man. Health matters. Oh yeah, I remember that.
You remember those?
Yes.
Right, and it's a 3D. This is my first time taking it out in a long time. Well, it's my first time ever taking it out. But you can see like it's a 3D version one of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's authentic. Like that's time. He signed that, and I think I got this back in like 1997.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, any corner that call themselves a cornerback and believes that they are a cornerback. There's only one cornerback that we all mimicked and try to play like, and ain't none of us can even get close to him. But since he's gotten into coaching and outside of what people think of the man, he's an outstanding man. And I know that the naysayers, and I ain't calling you a naysayer, Pettey, but
no, that didn't come. That was more, yeah.
There's a lot of people that think that he was only doing it for, his sons and yada yada yada. Mm-hmm. He's a real coach that cares about the players more than people think or even know, and he's all about the kids. I mean, people got to remember, time's been coaching longer than when he showed up at Jack State. Mm-hmm. Like he was doing it for free.
With the Under Armour camps.
With Under Armour camps. And even back when he had his own school. Mm-hmm. Right, back down in Texas. So, I mean, he's always loved the game. He's always gave back to the game. And I think that we all at times when we hear stuff that's going on, like, let's just wait until we hear it from the source to start jumping to conclusions, because it would have sucked if people would have just started making up like bad rumors about what he was going through, not knowing that he is battling something that a lot of people have lost their lives to.
Absolutely.
It's touched a lot of us, with the cancer. And I'm just glad and happy that he knocked it out of the park and kicked his butt. And I'm super happy that we'll have another year with Coach Time on the sideline. And hey, whatever record that they get. But I know that they have a 110% real coach and a real man standing on the sideline.
Someone's going to prepare them to be a better man.
That's it. I know one thing, that team's going to fight.
Well, and moreover, are we surprised after you hear that he had it, that Prime is the type that he beat it? I mean, and the type of things this dude's done in his life. No. Oh, yeah, tough as nails. And Deion was a legit baseball player. We talked about, I just mentioned the two of the greatest athletes to ever live, Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. Never forget the night they played against each other, and I think there was like 4 home runs and 12 RBIs between the two of them. Deion, the only man to play a playoff football game than a baseball game. I mean, come on, man. No human does that at the professional level.
Is he human? That's what we got to ask.
Is he? He may be a robot, but man,
you know what, Pettey? I was discussing this and just having a conversation with my good buddy Jim Monis, and we were talking about athletes that are once in a generation, once in a lifetime type of athlete, that when they show up and they give us their time, that we often like look at it and like, it's just, there they go again, and don't truly appreciate like greatness. Like we never truly appreciated Deion's greatness as a player.
No.
And even just passing judgment on who he is as a marketing genius. When we saw Bo play, we kind of just shrugged our shoulders like, oh, yeah, Bo's going to be around forever. No, but typically bright stars like that, supernovas, they only shine for a small glimpse of it.
Yep.
And then if you don't appreciate it, it's by you. I say the same thing about Kobe Jellybean Bryant. I don't think we truly appreciated his greatness. And we kind of just let it just go away. LeBron James, we don't. Shohei Ohtani, like we're just like, oh yeah, it's just like, no, dude, that's the greatest baseball player of all time. Period. Stop it, embrace it, love it, move on.
Yep.
Whoever you guys want to argue and throw their names in there, keep throwing it. Not gonna stick on the wall. Not with me, at least.
Well, and I guess we speak to so many people of our era. People get caught up on the heroes from their generation and don't really, like you say, appreciate. But you can, like, man, I get the Michael Jordan arguments, but I've also seen the highlight reel videos where they literally put the two side by side, and it was like every move Jordan made, Kobe made on the basketball court. Every one of them. Every day. And that's actually a good segue, Smoke, because I know that's a guy you want to touch on in this next one a little bit. Look, man, unless your head's been under a rock, and I know this isn't completely sports related, but I'm an 80s guy. I was born in 1979, but that was a month. And then Smoke, we're 80s guys. So Theo Huxtable, I don't have his name on this, but
Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Mr. Warner, God, and what a rough way with his kid. God bless him. But the Huxtables were a part of the American fabric in the 80s. It didn't matter.
The Cosby Show, man. I know. I guess you can't say the name, but
yeah, I can say the Cosbys. I don't give a crap. Look, man, we're about to talk about someone else whose personal life got very questionable at the end, but let's take the personal side out of it. The Cosbys were a fabric. If you were black or white, everybody sat around the TV and watched the Cosby Show because it was pure entertainment. I mean, it was pure wholesome entertainment. And Theo, you grew up with Theo Huxtable. And then on the flip side, I told Smoke, I said, you might not know it. Smoke's from Jamaica, so he's born with like reggae in his brain. You play ball in the 90s. I'm sorry, rap is going to be a part of it. But it didn't matter. If you played the ball to the level of Smoke Dixon on those college football fields, you inevitably heard Crazy Train from Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne transcended every genre, he touched everything. And again, for me, for my generation of dudes that grew up in the 80s, Ozzy Osbourne metal was kind of a way of life.
You said you were going to give me some type of rendition of Crazy
I meant
Train.
Did I not send it of Crazy Train?
No, so you go ahead and just give it to us live. No,
you want us to get laughed off air? I'll start doing.
Why not? There you go. The whole audience is getting up now.
Yeah, okay. And then look, man, it didn't matter if you were a fan of it, if you thought it was fake, if you thought it was goofy, if you thought it was a male soap opera. It is undeniable that Hulk Hogan was one of the biggest stars of the 80s of any. He was what sports icons are kind of about. Hey, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and be the Hulkster.
He saved WWF.
He saved it. And for those that don't, he transcended it. Wrestling before Hogan came along was regional. Every region had their own little wrestling circuit. And McMahon, with the power of Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania, put WrestleMania together. And if it didn't work, it was going to bust and they were going to go out of business. Instead, it went the opposite way and became one of the biggest things this globe has seen phenomenon in Hulk Hogan. And with him passing, it hit me, man. We're getting to that age, Smoke, where our icons are starting to lose some of the biggest ones. And it's kind of hit you in the feels at times. I've been going down some Ozzy trails, some Hogan stuff, but I brought to you, I was like, man, which ones hit you, Smoke? And you kind of touched on one, but what are those icons that we're starting to lose that really kind of made you sit back for the day and go, damn, man.
You know what? I am a little bit, numb to the fact of like death and stuff like that. I'm kind of like, when I say I'm over it, I'm like, yeah. But the one that really stuck to me, and I still don't even talk about it till this day, is Kobe Bryant. Like, if anybody knows me, they know that Kobe's my guy. Like, I love Mike, and Mike's up there, but Kobe, just what he embodied and how he trained, and his mentality truly gave every athlete a chance, because Kobe wasn't the most athletic. And when we talk about gifted wise, his skill set wasn't like number one over everybody, but the way that he worked.
He outworked them all.
Yeah, he showed everyone, like, if you can work and be the greatest version of yourself, then you can be great in your own mind. And he gave everybody a chance. And I think that the average person or average athlete saw Kobe Bryant's work ethic, thus came the Mamba mentality, and you just saw this a group and a wave of players, like right after him, started working at an unbelievable level, because they knew without that work, even with talent, that you can only get to a certain point without eclipsing what that talent benchmark was for you. And when we lost them, I thought that we just lost just one of the greatest people to walk Earth, to kind of help society understand that it's more than just you. And even if it is about you, you can make it greater than you. And I thought once Kobe was lost, I thought that kind of went out the window, and everybody just went back to their just normal, laissez-faire, average working attitude. There's a few that still has that Mamba mentality, but he's not here to continuously encourage a lot of that. And even if you looked in even basketball, a lot of stuff that happened in basketball when the Black Lives Matter movement was going on, when the pandemic hit, I think if Kobe was around, I think we would have pushed a little bit further quickly past some of the stuff, because he was able to sit down in front of people and people actually listened to him.
Bridge.
Yeah. There you go.
1,000%. And not only that, man, I know this is going to sound crazy coming from the guy that's kind of knocked it the last few shows, but what Kobe was doing for women's basketball was huge with his daughters. I mean, Kobe and someone with his name could have had a real influence on the sport. People would have gotten, it would have worked.
Just think about what the WNBA game is going through right now with CBA battles and even pegging athletes against each other. Understanding the trajectory of where Kobe Bryant was taking the game and his mindset with his daughter possibly being the next one up.
Oh, yeah.
I think he would have been more hands-on with it. And I think the game would have been a little bit more further along. I think the Caitlins of the world, or the Angel Reeses of the world, the Jewses of the world would have been put on a better platform. They're on a good one right now, but a platform that allowed them to actually have their own space more quickly than what's going on right now. This is an old 44-year-old guy's opinion on how great Kobe Bryant
I know
and what he brought to the game.
I know we like to argue and debate on this show, but that's opinion I 100% stand by. I believe that's I believe he would have had that type of impact and was that type of guy. And I think Kobe hit a lot of us, because that was, he was so young. He's our age almost. It's so unexpected. But I think the one that hit that outside of Kobe that really kind of hit me, because it was when I fell in love with the game, and I was a Yankees fan, and he was a Yankee at the time, even though he went on to Oakland. But Ricky Henderson, Ricky passing, I know we talk about him on the show. I know he's one of your favorite players, but I like Ricky. Ricky is I read his biography. I think Ricky is one of the most fascinating individuals to ever play the sport. I think he's one of those people that you just love to be around. Even though he might not remember you from year to year because he played on so many teams. Ricky was when it was hitting me that guys of our generation were starting to lose, and like, ooh, boy, that was a tough one. So
yeah, I'm gonna tell you how much I love Ricky. I have a brother, and his birth name given to him on the day was not Ricky. Guess what his name is? Ricky. As soon as he came, listen. What is your brother's name? Ricky, and that's what everybody calls him. Outside of school. And his government name is Ricky, and there's only one reason, because of Ricky Henderson. That's how much I love Ricky Henderson.
And what we're finding out now when you hear the stories from the Will Clarks of the world that in my generation, you heard our parents talking about Yogi Bear and all the crazy stories with Willie Mays behind the plate. Willie would tell you all the crazy stuff Yogi would talk about. There's books about Yogi Bear quotes. You know, it ain't over till it's he half the damn baseball quotes come from that guy. Right. We're finding out that Ricky was the Yogi of our generation. Like he was absolutely our Yogi. He played forever. He was great forever. And he was the most quotable dude walking around that place. It was just, yeah.
I did the Will Clark story, the one that, and I think you tell it better than anybody.
Will Clark was in spring training.
Yeah.
And Ricky gets to first. And he's like, hey, what's up, Ricky? He said, man, Will, they ain't letting Ricky steal today. And he's like, what are you talking about? He said, man, they trying to get at bats for these next guys. They don't want Ricky to steal. He's like, they're letting you decide if you're going to steal or not, Ricky. I mean, I get it. If you don't want to steal, don't steal it. And so Will starts, kind of poking Ricky, which obviously don't take much. And he's like, and Ricky kind of looks at him. He's like, you know what? You're right, Will. He calls him Thrill. You're right, Thrill. Ricky about to steal this damn base. Will looks into the dugout and said, hey, he's gone. Like, come on, pitch. They run a pitch out. Ricky still second. They don't get him. He jumps up. I told you, Will, Ricky gonna get second. Ricky gonna get it. And coaches completely forgot the fact this spring training game that doesn't mean shit. And they're trying to get bats for, Mark McGuire back there or whatever. Dude, he's Yogi has more ring. He used to get on Jeter about one day you'll catch up with me when you get to the second hand for rings. Because Yogi played between, he went from Joe DiMaggio to Mickey. He bridged the gap of Yankee greatness. But I do think Ricky was kind of that guy, and it really hit me when we lost him. But man, this has been a tough week again for us '80s guys losing.
All it is, Petty, is we're just getting old, bro.
We're getting old, but no way to really segue. But man,
let's bring it back up.
Let's talk about Saban and Trump. Let's do that. So
is that really bringing it back up?
No, God, no.
Okay.
We might.
Let's bring the energy back up. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're good now. We talked about the dead. Let's get back to the people that's alive.
Trump has decided to, in part, to save the college football bill. Now, I do think a lot of this came from the meetings he's had with Saban over the previous months and other coaches or whatnot. I think a lot of the verbiage in it was stuff that Saban was kind of poking at. But I'm gonna give a quote from Saban on this because he's very much in favor of this bill, the Save the College Football bill that Trump's proposed or passed. I guess it's getting passed. And then I'm gonna read a Byrne quote, but then I'm gonna read a Jay Billis quote that kind of goes the other way, and then I'm gonna get my man Smoke Dixon's thoughts on this. So Saban says, I think President Trump's executive order is a huge step in providing the educational model, which is what we've always sort of tried to promote to create opportunities for players, male and female alike. Revenue and non-revenue, so they can have development as people, students, and develop careers or develop professionally if that's what they choose to do, Saban said. This was on his Friday morning appearance of Fox and Friends. I think we need to make a decision here relative to, do we want to have an educational-based model, which is what I think President made a huge step towards, or do we want to have universities sponsor professional teams? And I think most people would choose the former. Greg Byrne went to add on, the University of Alabama applauds this executive order from President Trump to help ensure long-term sustainable model of intercollegiate athletics. Byrne said, we are proud of our broad-based athletic programs and strongly support future regulatory and congressional action that will preserve the opportunities for student athletes. Now, keep in mind, this would put a big damper on all the strides made from getting athletes what they feel like is their share of the profits that are made off the billion-dollar organization that is college football. That quote was then followed up from the other side when Jay Billis, who is very outspoken on a lot of things when it comes to players getting paid.
And most of the time, right.
I'll be honest, you can hate or not, I'm more times than not on Billis' side because he is for the side of the player more times. But he quoted, nobody ever said we needed a salary cap for coaches.
Right.
Kind of, you do agree out of the gate because what Saban and Byrne are saying are the thing is true, because the thing that most of us agreed out of the gate, we don't want to lose the track sports and the Olympic sports that are dear to so many people that get chances to go to college on these scholarships for these sports. It would have sucked to lose. But on the flip side, here's a day where athletes are starting to get a piece of this pie that's really damn big, and this might put a kibosh on it. Smoke, floor is yours, buddy.
All right, so I think two things can be true, and I think both are. We know that the coaches don't have a cap, but there aren't that many coaches. There are more players than coaches. I don't believe that you should regulate how much an athlete can make, but I do believe you got to have a cap on certain sports. Football is one. I think you should have a cap on basketball. Revenue-driven sports, you should have a cap on it. Because what happens is when it goes capless, right, just like Major League Baseball, when you don't have a cap, you're only going to have a handful of teams that can truly compete, the big market teams.
That's
that can
right.
go out there and sign the Shohei Ohtanis.
The Yankees, the Dodgers.
The Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Boston Red Sox.
There you go.
Right? So, yes, I do believe there should be a cap on there, but relative to what and how much you're getting in revenue in terms of the TV deals that a lot of the Power Four conferences are signing. Open that book up to give a percentage to the players. Instead of giving them peanuts, give them a little bit more. So now that you can have a $30 million cap for each of those teams within the P4. And now the other sports, just have them be scholarship sports. Take away the scholarships from the ones that you are paying a portion of the revenue to and say, well, listen, if the scholarships are $30,000 a year, we'll take the $30,000 out of your paycheck, or you pay the $30,000 out of your paycheck, and whatever it is that's after that, you handle it. But in order to play this particular sport, we're going to pay you, but you got to pay some of the money back because you're getting paid. Because I don't believe that you should be on the cuff for everyone, for every student athlete, and on top of that, paying the student athlete as well too. Because that's where the rubber meets the road. If you want an education and you're making $1.1 million, you can pay for this education as well too.
Right? My wife is screaming, and if she's watching in another room, you can hear her cheering across because she.
So it's there are scholarship athletes that truly want to just go to school, play the sport, have a good time, have a good education. But there's the 2 or 3 sports that say, hey, you know what? We're generating revenue. We want to get paid. Okay, cool. If you want to get paid, pay for your schooling, and we'll keep this going. Pay for your tutoring. Everything outside of it costs. It's called real life. That's what I would do.
Once you go pro, you pay for your housing, you pay for your food.
If I'm paying you, you can pay me too. You can pay me too. That's the first step of education. Right? So then the negotiation part will slow down because now you can negotiate your scholarship within your salary. So now you can fund other programs with what the players are paying, and the players can play that's getting paid. And if you're not that good, you go down to the group of 5 and get a free scholarship and go play. When you believe you're good enough, level up and come up to us. We'll negotiate a deal with you. You pay for your school. We'll pay you. And if you come away with $10,000 plus profit, if it's $1.5 million, but that's what I would do. But I don't believe that you should regulate how much an athlete can make. I think you got to regulate the salary cap within each sport and allow the general managers, the head coaches, the decision makers to make those decisions on who they pay and how much they're paying.
Man, Smoke. Again, I love when we go back and forth, but that's the second one time tonight that I like preach it. Like I said, my wife is screaming for the other room. You're getting, if you're making $1 million, which is probably what, like 10 times what the teacher that's teaching you is making, you could probably afford to go to that college. And again, there should be some structure to pay it where those scholarships then can in return be returned to those non-revenue sports. It's Smoke. I want to really label this. That was the Smoke Dixon common sense minute, because you just spoke common sense, but it all made sense and it's all very doable because it's structures that come from NFL models, structures that we've seen and that work. And like you said, you're a professional, man. Like you go pro, you get paid that amount of money. That the Buffalo Bills didn't give Smoke Dixon a house. They didn't give Marcel Darius a house. You had to pay. You're in the real world now because you're making real world money. It's kind of the way it works.
Yeah. If you go pro, and for most schools they would allow you to come back, but once you turn pro back in the day, before your senior year, you'd have to come back and pay for school. So if you want to leave and you want to say, hey, I want to be a professional, here goes professional obligations that you have to give back to us. And I think that might alleviate a little bit of the agents out there trying to hold most head coaches and programs and shake them by their daggone ankles to get every red cent out. Well, now you make sure that your client pays that bill to get us over here and to get on our campus, to pay for the education that they want. For the most part, they're going to leave early anyway if they're in that 1% category. It's everybody else is going to have to suffer. But everybody else wants to get a piece of the pie too, and most guys are getting something. I just think that you can negotiate all those within the scholarship once we get to a place of having a cap and real revenue. And now that you're employee, pay for play means you're employee. Sign over the employee tab.
Nailed it. Again, right on Smoke, put the cap on so the game will be more competitive overall. Instead of a few big money schools dominating, the overall balance will be beneficial. Yeah. Otherwise, you have the college version of the Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox. So, no, great spot. And
be Russell, I'm like this, bro. I am one of those true competitors that will tell you drop me off at anywhere and you make the field even. Yeah, I'm beating 98 to 99% of the ones that are just walking around. There might be a 1% that tie with me at evaluating and building a roster. There ain't nobody out there that I know that can get on my level and touch all spaces of building the roster, making sure the cap is balanced, understand that player value, add, and they're equal. And I mean, we all miss in terms of evaluation, but for me, I don't think it's often.
On what this does, man, hey, check out last week's show. We opened out of the gate with it. It makes things like our boy Tyler Siskey and QuickU, his company's only going to skyrocket in value because it puts more emphasis on what you just said.
It ain't hard. It ain't hard building a team when you have $40 million to work with, and another team before rev sharing came in only had $1 million. Now, I don't care how great of a talent evaluator that you are, you're going to evaluate the best talent and get a bottom line player that you're getting the best bang for your buck. But that $40 million team in a heartbeat can overpay and overspend for that player to get off of your team. So now you're back down to ground zero and starting back over again. So once they make this playing field even, you're going to see a lot of coaches that you guys thought were great look very average. A lot of these personnel guys you thought were great look average. And the ones that you thought were average at the same level competing. All it is going to just shake everybody up, and you're going to see the true cream rise to the top.
There you go.
Whenever the smoke hits the air, you're always on top, though. Smoke's always going to be on top.
Smoke always on top. That's like snow. That's some Hunger Games. Snow lands on top. Smoke lands on top. I like it. Hey, Jimmy Clay's entered the chat. We always love our man Jimmy Clay. Like the main man Justin Riley said, hit that like and subscribe button. Brian actually brought the thunder a little before that, right on Smoke.
Yeah,
one we kind of missed. Boy, this one, I don't know how this was almost, I guess, a block because this one touches closer to home and it was way too young. And DT, that was woo.
Yeah, I you know what, B. Russell, I agree with you, and it's for DT's family. And that one hit home too much to even bring that back up because I had just saw him while we were down there for the Orange Bowl. We just saw him and talked to him. And a lot of people don't know one of the main reasons, like what took it over the top for Alabama for me was DT.
Well, I want to ask that. And when you're around, look, Smoke, you played for Alabama, so you're around freaks. Are there guys that are icons above other icons? Was DT that guy?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. I am a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. Reggie Ragland would know that. People that I grew up with would know. My AFC team was always Kansas City.
You like Neil Smith and DT just killing people on the edge there.
I could sit here and tell you the entire lineup and the backups for the Kansas City Chiefs. Whenever year you want to go to, from Dan Salumua to Joe Phillips. I end up coaching Joe Phillips' son at the Citadel.
They had one of the low-key best running back tandems that people might not ever remember.
Which one?
Barry Word and Christian Okoye. The Nigerian Nightmare was a beast until he ran into Steve Atwater that one time.
Okay, what about Kimball Anders and Marcus Allen?
Marcus Allen after he came over from the Raiders. That's right.
What about Greg Hill and Harvey Williams?
Dude, Harvey Williams, I pulled out his LSU card just today with Carl Pickens. I pulled up the 91, 92. That's a whole nother sidetrack. Look, we got you for an hour. We only got 20 more smoke, and we're about to go down.
I'm just telling you, man.
I'm going to say this real quick. My Tennessee neighbor, he jumps in here and gives you guys shit all the time. He does the Go Big Orange. He's in our chat, but he's gotten into baseball cards with his son, and it got me to pull mine out. You learn real quick going through your baseball cards who your favorite guys were.
You know what? I was a baseball. No, I was a card collector.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your best card, Pettey? Give it to me right now.
My best card now, my favorite is probably my Frank Thomas rookie from the Tops when he's in his Auburn jersey on his knee at first base, and it's autographed. I've got an autographed Archie Manning rookie that's pretty special to me. But several of the rookies, I've got all the Griffies and all them, and everybody's got those, but those are probably, and I've got an autographed Walter Payton card that's pretty special to me too.
Ooh.
And my Mickey Mantle baseball.
That's tough. Barry Sanders rookie autograph. Yeah, man. I was the Pro Bowl collector. You know when Pro Bowl cards came out.
Pro Bowl, well, because you talking about Pro Set? They had the Lombardi card that was the full Lombardi card. I actually got that card when I was a kid.
Yeah, Pettey, I used to. You remember the thick glass cases? You could put your card in and screw them in. You never took them out. I used to go to card shows.
Talk 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go? You want to go run and go get yours? Look at this son of a gun. He's gonna try to show me up. But then if you had a real good card collection, you would put all of them in a binder and take them to school and make sure that whenever you had your friends looking at them, you make sure that nobody touched them.
You talking about these things where you had to have a daggum screwdriver.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is that Frank?
That's Frank in his Auburn outfit. Sorry, Bama fans. Signed.
All good. Great players go to schools too.
Manny Bowman had that in the lockdown rookie when he was still looking fresh. And then there's the man with the best genes on planet Earth.
Debatable, but it's okay.
The DNA that signed that card made me a better football player. Oh, all right.
There you go.
Smoke. I know I've only got you for an hour smoking that we are getting off on the rabbit trails, but I learned that my favorite players were Don Mattingly, Frank Thomas in this order, Ken Griffey Jr., and then Jeff Bagwell.
Did you have the Deion Sanders when the baseball and
yes,
the football one yet?
Well, the Bo Jackson where he had I had the Bo Jackson football baseball. I've got a card with Deion covering Michael Irvin that I found because my football card collection are basically two dudes, Emmitt Smith and John Elway.
Shaq rookie card.
I've got the Shaq rookie. I also found my Marshall Faulk rookie where he's in his San Diego State uniform. Smoke. I know that one means something to you.
Listen. Marshall is dear to my heart. Marshall and Shady McCoy. I'll take those two running backs. You can have every other running back that you want, and I'll be okay.
I'm a low-key Marshall. I was a big Faulk fan. I know I went blurry, guys, because I put that card up there. Hopefully it'll.
No, you're good. We can see your face now.
We're going to get through it real quick. Yeah, that. And I met Big Hurt about 3 or 4 months ago. Hurt's one of my idols. I love the Big Hurt. Dude, I have 4 Wax Box 93. Oh, the Jeter rookies. Yes. Man, we're going to have to, we'll bring it. Okay. I promise next week I'll do like we always like to talk a little bit warm up. We'll do a little baseball card, get you guys, because everybody can get into the card stuff.
We can get in the cards. I don't think kids have fun anymore. Like I said, this is one of my prime ones. My Deion.
Dude, that's like I said, smoke
the action pack. 3D.
I cut grass. I get my $20 for doing my chores, and I was riding my bike up to buy every pack of cards I could, buddy.
Once I figured out that you can go to card shows and negotiate them, Petty, I was done with the going to the 7-Elevens and for the wish factor. I went and got what I want. I went and got what I wanted.
I got you. I
And
got
then
you.
and then I found a way somehow to get them signed as I got older and actually met those guys, and they'll ink them up for me. But I got a collection. They're all at my mom's house though. I don't know what happened. We got to go clean out. They got to go clean that closet out that my mom has everything. My mom's one of those mothers that they keep everything. Oh, listen, bro. I have zero like collectible stuff of mine, but I go back to my mom's house. She's like, "Yeah, I got this, that." And I'm like, "For real?" Like all my high school stuff. I went back to my mom's house and was just going through some stuff and got it. My nephews had my autographed picture of myself in high school, my MVP trophy. No, but I let them have it. I let them have it though. I mean, they us old washed up guys. I never thought they even thought that I was halfway decent.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Smoke, speaking of expectations, ESPN, I read an article today, is expecting one Bill Belichick to have a primetime impact, not so much on recruiting or winning, but on the TV ratings in North Carolina. And I'll be honest, when I went through the first week of games, I stopped and circled North Carolina and TCU, which is not one I'd normally circle because of goofy Bill Belichick. You have a theory on why this may be, and it's not because of the excitement and the fun that is Deion Sanders.
No, I you know what? Your typical audience and fans, okay, what we got going on there?
Well, I'm trying to get that. Okay, see, that put me back in focus. If you make it all go to dark, it brings me back in focus. But when I put that card up there, it focused on the card, so the focus was up close. That's just a little parlor trick, guys. So I put my hand up there. Now you got HD Pettey again.
Gotcha. HD Pettey is back. So let me get the HD Smoke. So I don't think they really want to see Belichick on the sideline. I think people are tuning in just to see him get his butt kicked, which is also good for TV.
Of course.
You know, can he do it at the college level? Just like when Tom left him in New England, can he do it without Tom? Well, we figured that out was a no. And like I said, I got my own theory. I know what his record is without Tom Brady, below average. So if Joe Long, North Carolina has a fairly easy schedule, they should go at least 9-3. Listen, Joe, go put that bet in Vegas. And if you get that, you're going to be a billionaire. 9-3 is pretty daggone good. That's pretty good. I know. I'm just going to go off what history says, and I'm going to go do the numbers. Without Tom Brady, Belichick's below average.
Well, they're over under 7.5. If you expect 9, go to Vegas and hammer it. I'm with you. I think, like you said, Smoke, a lot of times people turn in to cheer for the villain to lose, and I think Belichick is seen by many as a villain. As grumpy as Saban was with the media, I think Belichick was more villainized about it than Saban was. But
Saban played, like, people don't understand. Saban played that up. They actually, they love Saban. And even when Coach Belichick got into the media space, they figured out that he had a great sense of humor, and people loved him
actually
too.
Funny.
I just don't think that the average fan outside of Chapel Hill is cheering for North Carolina to win. They want them to lose every game, and they're going to come and say, "I told you so." Coach Belichick's a great coach, but college football in itself is different. This is a new team. Majority of his roster is gone. It's revamped. And again, I mean, it's not like those coaches and those other programs are going to lay down and say, "Hey, you know what?
Well, and
beat us."
Joe, we can look at their schedule, but my question is, well, who's their guys? Like, who's their quarterback? Who's their studs? Okay, because you can look at, say, they open up with Charlotte. At Charlotte should be a win, but Charlotte's been a little nasty. Richmond always gives Virginia Tech hell out of the gate. Hell, I think they've beaten them a time or two. Then you go to UCF. Hey, Scott's back. Last time he was UCF, he had that damn thing ball rolling.
Did they lose it last time that he coached it? Did they lose a game?
No. Frost is back and re-energize that. Then you got Clemson at home. I mean, so UCF on the road, not a gimme. Clemson, that's a loss at home. Then you go to the West Coast in California. Look, California is not great, but check their records when teams travel all the way across. They've taken out Ole Miss. They've taken out Tennessee. I've seen it several times. Going across, that's not easy. Virginia at home, maybe. Syracuse on the road. I don't know. Syracuse is pretty nasty right now.
Ask Miami what happened.
Stanford at home, okay, maybe. They're kind of garbage right now. Wake Forest on the road, they're a high school team. Duke at home, I don't know what's Duke got right now.
Man, listen, Duke got players.
And then at NC State, dude, 9 wins. You're like, hey, go put that money on them, but I ain't betting on it.
Bill, he said Belichick had some questionable cheating.
Well, we had Deflategate. We had some video and espionage going on. We had some stuff.
He's been found guilty of all that. I ain't talking about.
Yeah, all right. So look,
he's a Hall of Fame coach with Tom Brady. Without Brady, below average. Let's go check the numbers. Tough as nails, or anybody want to pull those numbers up? Pull it up.
We'll be tuning in to watch him lose. So, except for Joe. Joe's tuning in to watch him win 9 games. But, man, back to ESPN's.
I'm not tuning in to watch the man lose, Petty. I'm tuning in, if I do watch a game, to see competitive football. I'm just telling you what the rest of the world wants to say.
Truth of the matter, I'm tuning in because Belichick's coaching college football. You know what they really want to see? I'll be honest. He's the Nick Saban of the NFL at the time. They want to see, does he have a Nick Saban type impact in college football? That's what people are truly tuning in for. And
people got to realize that these coaches are competitive too. It's not
damn right they are.
It's not like Coach Wilcox out there at college going to say, hey, you know what? Since you're Bill, come over here and just beat us. Nah, they're gonna have their team ready to play, and Coach Belichick's gonna have his team to play. I'm just telling you that. Mere facts. Tom Brady's a great reason why he's a Hall of Fame coach.
So, Smoke, I pulled up an article today. ESPN, it titled ranks the SEC contenders from number 1 to 16. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you, when I tell you who it is, are you surprised at number 1? Because let's be real, all offseason you hear the one immortal lock for the playoffs from the SEC is Texas, regardless of how many snaps Arch had. A lot of people believe in Georgia because the proof's been in the pudding with what Kirby has done over the last 5 years. But when I clicked on the article, it wasn't Texas or Georgia with the highest percentage to win the title from the SEC. It was one your Alabama Crimson Tide, Smoke.
Our
Alabama at 16%. Are you shocked that Alabama, ESPN has Alabama as the highest percentage to win from the league?
No. I mean, we're in the era of the transfer portal and retention's at the highest peak. Last time I checked, and I'm pretty sure of this, Bama didn't lose any of their players. And they feel better with whoever's at quarterback than the last guy that just left. Coach DeBoer's second year. They've gotten better at certain positions that we're looking at saying they needed to get better at wide receiver. It's his third year offensive line. Continuity, they got, I think they're returning 4 of 5 starters. Ryan Williams. Tight end is the position of need, but I think they're going to work through that. Receivers is probably at the top. Defensive line, their defense is second year in. Regardless of what you and I believe that their defense should look like, it still was a solid defense. Secondary is pretty good. Yeah, I think ESPN is pretty locked in on this one. As long as Ty Simpson can play at a B level, Alabama's going to have a very good chance to hit that 16% like ESPN said.
Great segue. As long as Ty can hit that level. And look, man, it's our favorite time of year. Practice is starting this week. We are mere weeks away from the college football season. And, man, Smoke, I'm looking around for what are the biggest storylines going into camp. And all I can see is this is the year of the quarterback in the SEC for so many teams.
You know what, Petty? I'm going to say this. This is the year of the quarterback in college football.
Well, and we're going to go up north with a little bit because there's a guy that gets a lot of praise, a coach that's done a lot, but there's still some looming questions. Is this finally the time for that program? We're going to get to them after we talk a little bit of SEC, though. Let's start with Ty, man. Ty, that's the question. You know, there's a lot of positive vibes coming out of Manning Passing Academy. People are saying, hey, man, the kid's waited his turn. They're making the MAC comparisons. but from what we're hearing inside the program is he can work this offense. Ties the question. We just talked about it. ESPN has Alabama's the highest percentage to win the national title from the SEC. It's like 16%. Georgia's 15%, but still, they got Alabama as the highest. It kind of falls on, does Ty take this offense to the next level, right?
Well, I don't believe that the quarterback is going to be the deciding factor of them winning it all. I believe it comes down to the trenches. It's easy to play quarterback when you don't have pressure. And that comes down to the offensive line, run blocking, and pass pro. And then when you have playmakers on the outside that you just got to get the ball in their hands, throw on time, throw to the right person. I think you don't have to put that much pressure. Just like when Jake Coker was playing quarterback at Alabama. He only had to make 3 or 4 plays all year for Bama to go ahead and win the national championship that year. That defense was lights out. Offensive line did they were blocking. They handled Clemson.
Yeah.
Right? So when you look at it, you're saying it's not really Ty. It's a trench warfare for me instead of the quarterback. The quarterback just got to make a few plays.
So it's not
want to make a play. Make a few plays.
All right, and if Ty can just, that sounds like Ty managed the offense.
Manage the offense. Manage your turnovers. When it's time for you to make the 1 or 2 scrambles for 5 yards when it's 3rd and 4 in the SEC championship. Who was that quarterback that tightrope? Was it Greg that tightrope on the sideline?
It was Greg.
And then when Jake Coker had that one run,
throw again, he had a great a dime against Clemson. That was
against Clemson, right? When AJ had that dime throw to Norwood on the sideline, that 7 cut over the Honey Badger's head. Like, you don't necessarily have to be the guy
every play.
That's added pressure onto yourself that you don't necessarily need to create. But just let everything kind of just build, and I think Bama will be exactly where Bama needs to be. Unlike at Georgia. Georgia's quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, needs to play at a different level because we don't know how good that offensive line is. We don't know that. There's still question marks on the perimeter. There's still question marks at the running back position in terms of Frazier holding on to the ball because he had some fumbling issues.
Yeah.
On defense, they're going to be Glenn Schumann and Kirby's going to make sure that defense is going to roll. But you got to score points in the SEC.
So Stockton's got to step it up. Well, man, look, I live in Florida. The rumblings growing. They loved what they saw last year. I even said I saw him in person. The kid's a specimen. But let's be real. You look at the numbers. The numbers are crazy. He didn't throw many passes in a lot of games. The touchdown to interception ratio wasn't the best. So regardless of all the flash, there were some things that needed to be fine-tuned on the DJ Lagway experiment in Florida. But Florida fans saw enough to say, we don't care what the schedule is. We think we're winning 10 games this year. All I hear is the kid hadn't picked up a ball in the offseason. What does Lagway look like going into fall camp? And is he, what these Florida fans believe he's going to be down here, which is the next damn Heisman winner from Florida?
Well, Petty, you know my answer. 2 things can be true, and I think both are. I think DJ is a phenomenal football player, physically and what he brings to the game with its intangibles. But like I've said, on a lot of different platforms, including this one, what scares the heck out of me, what has me troubled is things that you work through from your freshman to your sophomore year. And typically that's when you make the biggest jump because the game slows down for you. That's what you accomplish during spring. And whenever I hear a quarterback right shoulder and you're right-handed, and a lot of the things that you do is throw the football. You can't throw the football. You're on a pitch count for spring or from the end of the season until whenever you report to camp. Yeah, that gets me a little bit nervous because, yes, you can throw the ball during practice, and when you go out there, you do different things in PRPs, player-ran practices, but there's nothing like when you see a real defense, nothing like when you see real pressure and you have to complete balls. throw timing passes, touch passes, extend plays. And then one of the things that he's really good at is running the football and extending plays. Like you're going to have to calm him down off of that because you don't want him to take a shot on that right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a defender, yeah, I'm banging that shoulder and I'm trying to see where it's at. So you're trying to tell a second-year player that needs time on task and is an instinctive player in terms of running the football and creating extra plays and creating off the platform throws and extended plays, not to play and be an instinctive player. You're taking a lot away from him. So unless he can go out there and just cut it loose, I would tamper down on those 10 games with W's because you're going to have to show me that you can go through way more than just what your potential ability says.
I tell you what, Smoke, I think I know what we're going to see out of Arch. I know I've got my excitement from the Ole Miss fandom of what Austin Simmons is going to do. I really am excited. I believe what Ty's going to do. I just have this weird belief in this kid that he's about to get it done. But I'll be honest, I think the most intriguing quarterback in the whole league is DJ Lagway because there's just all this mythical like hype around the kid. But like you said, there's so much unknown still. He's the one that's most interesting to me because does he live up? Because if he lives up to the mythical, he's a Heisman winner. But if not, I mean, there could be the floor could also catch him because of just the lack of polishing that he didn't get to have in the offseason. So he intrigues me probably the most out of all the SEC quarterbacks.
Here's my. I mean, you still got Lenore Sellers.
Well, I'm going to get to those. So we had two kids that flashed last year that now have our attention. Can they take programs to next levels? And that's Lenore Sellers at South Carolina, and that's Marcel Reed at A&M. Both those kids showed a lot of damn promise last year. Those are the two that, like you said, Lagway's the one that's kind of more unknown. These are kids that kind of got our hopes up, and now we see, do they take the next step this year at A&M in Carolina?
So, you know what, Pettey, I'm going to say this. I don't know if Lenore Sellers has the right pieces around him to get South Carolina to playoffs. But I'm intrigued a little bit about when Marcel Reed. One, I went back and I watched Auburn Texas A&M game last year. When Auburn jumped out on them, I want to say by 3 touchdowns, 3 scores. Mm-hmm. And you just saw a young, steady player just chip away. Took the team back, boom, boom, overtime, won the game. Never once blinked. And there's a group of quarterbacks in the SEC that everyone just overlooks just because they're not as polished. They don't have the hype behind them. They don't have the star rankings or ratings coming out of high school that push them. But when you look at the all SEC preseason players, Marcel's not on there.
Mm.
Okay. But his running back that was hurt last year is a player. 3 of the 5 offensive linemen that's on that team is on there. Receiver wise, they're going to be okay. I believe in Coach Elko. And
a lot of people do.
Towards the end of the season, Texas A&M was in play to represent the SEC in the SEC championship game.
And they did the opposite of what Texas A&M. And look, I'm a doubter. I'm one of those that says, look, I've seen enough Texas A&M teams to have world beaters all over, only to still find a way to lose 3 or 4 games. But you just made a key point about A&M. They usually fade as the season went on. It was the opposite last year. They were getting better with young players that were kind of learning the game. You saw the Auburn game. Most of the time, A&M would have folded their tents. They just kind of
Moss is a player in the backfield, bro. And that defense, that secondary is young, but what they lacked in experience last year, you saw it in skill level and play. Now that you've gained that experience, the skill set is still there. Yeah, they lost a couple of guys up front, but they've done a pretty good job in transfer portal. And Elko's going to make sure that defense is going to play good. I'm a Marcel Reed believer, and I think if I had a sleeper team in the SEC, I'm going to go ahead and jump on that wagon and say Texas A&M is my team.
And I'm kind of with you, Smoke. I think Marcel Reed is the one name. We mentioned so many SEC quarterbacks at the end of the year. It could be more of the household name that isn't right now. But, man, there was a turnstile going on that's going to have a big effect on two programs, and it all happened at one. Oklahoma saw their five-star phenom Jackson Arnold head to the Plains, in which Hugh Freeze is hoping can be the savior, but at the same time brought in John Mateer from Washington State, who they're hoping can be the savior. So now you got two transfer quarterbacks at both programs are kind of, and look, let's be real, Venerables and Freeze, regardless of what you want to hear, it may not happen because we think the times have changed, but there's a little bit the murmurs or whatever. They want to see some stuff this year. Both are relying on new guys that all kind of started Genesis from Oklahoma. You really believe in one. Do you believe in the other? I know you believe in the one that's in Oklahoma.
I'm from the Show Me State. And I know my man Carl Reed is not going to say that. I'm a Missouri believer in you got to show me at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Arnold has a lot of potential. Mm-hmm. But the great Tommy, what's Coach Tomador, used to always tell me, Smoke, potential to get you fired, potential to get you benched. I don't want to hear potential. I want to see production. So I've seen production from John Mateer. And Jackson Arnold was a young quarterback that needs time on task. But with time on task, we got to lower the expectation and allow that person just to grow. And going into the season, Auburn has a good enough offensive line. They have good enough skill players. If Coach Freeze can manage the mistakes that Jackson's going to make, because it happens, and give him some safe plays, safe throws, I think Auburn can get into a 7-8 win category. John Mateer has shown us, like he's a 3,000-yard thrower, 1,000-yard rusher. He's coming over with Coach Ben Arbuckle to run the same offense. So when we're talking about player ran practices, PRP, he's running the offense that he's mastered, unlike Jackson Arnold that still has to get a script to run it. So like if you're thinking about it at education level, John Mateer is at the master level when he's running it. So you're getting extra reps. The players around you truly understand, you know the offense. You're telling the offensive line what to do, how to check, what to check into. Are we going to kill this play to run to this play? You already understand the intricacies of the entire offense. You're not throwing throws just to throw them. You understand the reason why. You understand the reason why you're running this play. So it's a lot different when you talk about belief and comfort level. It's not belief because I only believe in one thing. My comfort level will go with John Mateer. I am not as comfortable with Jackson Arnold if you had to put me on the hot seat and say pick one. Just because of this time on task and actually ability. John has more ability than Jackson Arnold at this point in their career.
Well, we've got a We Are Penn State fan in there, and I want to get up north. Before we do that, one more question on, and you talk about the potential, and that's the one. Look, man, and I heard Pete Golden, the big thing about Ole Miss isn't as much the quarterback. You know Lane's going to figure that out. He did it everywhere he's been.
He did it with Blake Sims, for Christ's sake. Come on.
But the hype coming on this Austin Simmons kid, it started. I saw your boy Roman Harper on SEC Network. He is a big, big fan of one Austin Simmons. But then I recently heard Pete Golden mention, like, I know everybody expects our defense to fall off because all four of our defensive linemen are now in the league. But, guys, it's not going to be the drop you expect. I don't know if he's a coach speech guy. We'll know. We'll find out. But if that defense doesn't fall off, Austin Simmons, and look, you're replacing a first round. And look, in Ole Miss world, a legendary quarterback in Ole Miss land. You're replacing basically a legend that went in the first round. A lot of pieces all went. But, man, if that defensive line can be what Golden's saying and Austin's what your boy Roman thinks, Ole Miss has the chance to be one of those sleeper teams. Kiffin's done nothing but win.
I'm good on that one, Pettis. You and Roman.
Okay.
I think Austin is a truly, truly gifted talent. And I'm going to say offense, you're not going to have much trouble with it in Oxford, Mississippi. But we got to understand that they lost a ton.
They did.
On defense. And if you think at one point they were ranked number one, top 5 all year, to replicate that in back-to-back years would be tough. I think they do play good defense, but I don't know. They ain't better than what they were last year.
No,
You're not
it's hard,
you're not
hard
losing Walter Nolan. You're not losing
Princely Umani
You're
Alien.
not losing the Prince. And
Pegues, that kid
yeah,
was, yeah, that's, I'm with you. You don't lose that type of talent. It's just, you can say that as a coach, you can believe it. Maybe there are pieces in the room, but to expect the production, it's just hard to, I'm with you. It's hard to believe. But man, one that's hard to believe. Let's go up north a little bit, man. We're not
come
going to
on.
talk about, everybody knows about Ohio State and what they've done. We talk about Michigan enough. But man, James Franklin is an interesting case study. There's a lot of people that say, when's he going to win the big game? But he wins just enough. But let's be real. I think he gets a harder time than probably he deserves. There's a reason. Go back to what he did at Vanderbilt. There's a reason he's up at Penn State. But that's the question. There's a lot of hype around Drew Allar. There's a lot of hype around that defensive line. Smoke. Is this the time? And you look on the Vegas knows shit. And when they have them as a 10.5 over under for total wins, Vegas is expecting some stuff up in Happy Valley.
Penn State Sports Talk says this. I guess you want to put this is Franklin's best.
This is Franklin's best team. So,
here's what I'm gonna say. I think Coach Franklin is a dynamite coach. I think he's one of the better coaches in college football. Point blank. Period. But what took Coach Franklin and me in terms of understanding football to the next level is he hired really, really good coordinators. And for a long time, like a lot of the offensive stuff was James trying to put his own little twist on it. And sometimes the head coach, you got to step back and be the CEO. Head coach's job is to coach the coaches, not to coach the players. Coach the coaches. And when you allow your assistants and your coordinators to coach the players and you stand back and you look at it from the big view and look down and say, okay, good, I want to make sure that my team is handled well and there's about 4 to 5 decisions that I have to make every single game to make sure that my team wins this game. I think that's the best thing that Coach Franklin did. Going out and hiring Andy Kolenecki as his offensive coordinator, dynamite move. Because now you trust a guy that can game plan, put the players in the best positions to make plays. 1 or 2 calls, hey, listen, we can nitpick and be that Monday morning quarterback. We're not going to do that. Andy Kolenecki's a daggone good coordinator. Jim Knowles, you look back and see what Ohio State did. Yeah, they got great players, but Jim Knowles is a defensive coordinator. Dynamite. Drew Allar is a NFL first-round quarterback. I don't want to hear about receivers. Don't want to hear that. If you tell me about quarterbacks or first-round draft picks, don't tell me how bad the receivers are. Don't care. Quarterbacks want to make the right throw and get it to them. Running back, they have 2 NFL running backs, and they can win it in the trenches. This is the best team. If they don't go and play in the national championship game, they're 1 play away from getting to the Final Four. Oh, yeah, from the national championship game. I'm going to say I'll be truly disappointed. If Clemson and Penn State is playing the national championship game, I wouldn't be shocked.
Damn. So let me ask this. We got Penn State Sports Talk here, and if you're like some podcast, we'd love to extend the invitation to have you on during the season, get some northern blood down here. We like talking all.
How much more northern blood can you get other than Simone?
You're Jamaican. You're more southern than I am.
No shot.
You're more southern than me, old boy. It's Jamaican. But so let me ask this question.
I'm a Silver Spring, Maryland expert.
You were on the you are a transient to the Maryland, the DMV area. I get all that, but you are a cool runnings at heart.
I'm a Mr. Everything. I'm Mr. International. I'm Austin Powers in Europe. I'm Bob Marley in Jamaica, right?
Well, look, international man of mystery. Let me ask this question. In Penn State Sports Talk, this goes out to you too. You said this is their most talented team. So is this now or never for Franklin, or if he doesn't do it, it's like Kiffin?
So now, okay. 22nd time out. We got to come down off of this, because I've been guilty of this as well too, with me talking about Coach Day last year.
Oh,
just understanding where you're at in college football. The pressure's on the coaches. Now or never, fine. But if you don't win it next year, and you say we got to get rid of Coach Franklin, okay, where are you going? Who are you hiring? Who are you going to hire that's a better coach? I just think this is his best chance to win it. If he does not win it, then he's just not a championship coach. And the last championship coach at Penn State ever had was Coach Paterno, and they won it in the 80s.
Yeah.
So I get it that
It was a
Penn
different
State
game.
because Justin King and I, we go back and forth, and he's a Penn State guy through and through, and I believe this is their best chance in a long time. Last year was pretty good too, but with the schedule and how it lines up, with the talent that they have, this is it. They got to come in and show up and show out. And this one, to me, is on the quarterback. I don't think Ty Simpson is a first-round quarterback right now. I do believe that Drew Allard is a first-round quarterback. And when you have that type of talent, at some point, they can't load the box. If they load the box and you have one high and you have receivers out there, you got to make pinpoint accurate throws to win games and call it a day. And you'll be perfectly fine. Just don't turn the ball over. And he's not a big turnover guy, but he now has to make pinpoint accurate throws, and he has to make game-winning plays. If that's scrambling for 10, that's running in for a touchdown, if that's extending a drive, it's all on you now. Period.
Look,
less pressure on Coach Franklin, more on the quarterback.
I'm interested, like I said, man, I know we breathe the SEC air down here, but I'm a college football fanatic. I grew up in that 80s when Blair Thomas and Joe Paterno were winning national.
John Carter.
John Carter. And look, man, yeah, and Kerry Collins and those guys and LeVar. I like
Courtney
so.
Brown.
I'm very intrigued. Again, I'm a big Vegas guy. When Vegas is putting up numbers on stuff, I pay attention, and they think highly of Penn State. I'm very questioning, is it a now or never? Smoke, I know you had an hour hard stop, which we've gone past real quick. I do want to address Tan and Brian Russell had a good conversation going in the side talking about Notre Dame. And I think Notre Dame is, again, this is a program I wish I could have been on air for years saying they're the most overrated team ever. I feel like they're a program that got flowers because of the history of being a great program up until our era when Rocket Ismail and Tony Rice were roaming the sidelines and Chris Zortz was the linebacker and all those guys. They were great. But then for about 2 decades, it seemed like they got a lot of props off weak schedules that they would win and then get popped by the power programs. I agree with you guys. I think y'all brought it up and we're kind of saying, agreeing with this. That team that I've been hammering for the past 20 years, I don't think is anymore. I think in just a few short years, Freeman has changed the stripes of Notre Dame back to why they got those flowers. That team's got a different personality than the Notre Dame teams we've been dealing with the last.
Can I ask you a question, Petty?
Yeah.
And I'm not disagreeing with you this, but I like to bring in the different angle. Let's flip this and look at it another way.
Mm-hmm.
You said Notre Dame's schedule wasn't the toughest because you're an SEC guy and they played who they wanted to play and they won games and they beat some cupcakes along the way, just like every other team.
Yeah.
But when USC was rolling, they did play against SC.
They always played SC. Right? Yeah.
When Stanford had the Andrew Luck and they had the Hogans at quarterback and they had the Toby Gerhardts and all that, Notre Dame still played them, right? Then they went to the ACC and they played Clemson in a semi-tough schedule. But everyone wants to say when they got to the Final Four, they got beat. Typically, they got beat by the national champions, or they lost in the national championship game.
But they were rarely competitive, even if it wasn't. But they put them in the Fiesta Bowl when it wasn't a championship, and they get drummed by 40.
Can I raise my hand again? So,
yep.
What semifinal game was ever competitive? So, is it Notre Dame? Was this what we knew that it's Alabama or Clemson? Or the year that Ohio State ran through with it. Like Bama was strong and Clemson had a run there where it wasn't gonna happen. So irregardless if it was Notre Dame, Maryland, Penn State, Nebraska, they were gonna get drummed.
Well, and I'm gonna play that card. I think Notre Dame is part of why the SEC does pump their chest about strength of schedule and stuff like that, because they would watch Notre Dame year in and year out play William and Mary and Purdue and Army and Navy when they aren't. Look, and I know they're better now, but they weren't when they were playing them. And they're like, okay, so you play 2 games a year, you win one of them, or maybe lose them both, and you go 10-2 and beat all the Patsies, and then you get to play in the Fiesta Bowl, and people are like, well, I don't. But again, that neither here what. I don't think that's the
I'm gonna say, irregardless, if Notre Dame was in whatever conference, there was only one or two teams when Notre Dame was rolling and they showed up in the Final Four games, that the only two teams that could beat them were the two teams that was the other two teams, other three teams that was in the daggone playoffs could beat them. Everybody else were better than.
And look, I'll probably always die on my hill, but when you say stuff like that, Smoke, I know you played the game and I know you respect the talent level of the guys, you know, and you played in the SEC. So if anybody had the bravado to say we were tougher down here, it'd be you. And you're sitting there, you know, it's definitely worth taking note when you say, hey, man, they can ball.
They can, yeah. It's just that the thing that we all have to understand, and when we look at it, just take Nick Saban out of it. And take the run that Alabama had right? Just remove them, okay? And just put every other team right there and say, okay, who else? Like, it took Georgia a while to build up the depth that Alabama had. Like when Clemson rolled through and beat Bama, typically they did it with the first overall quarterback or a franchise quarterback or three of the four defensive linemen were first-round talent, all-pro level type of players, right? So it took and then you say, well, what about LSU? Well, LSU probably like single-handedly that roster that year was one of the greatest. But to get to my point, in order to roll through the SEC like Nick did and how Kirby did in the last few years, you had to have depth upon depth. Because if your first teamer got hurt, your second teamer was typically a young freshman or sophomore that was better than the person in front of them. They just lacked time on task. If Bama, you had 3 or 4, we talked about it last week, you had 3 or 4 running backs that can come in there. Shoot, you have Josh Jacobs just getting 10 carries, and he's the best one out in the group.
Getting the mop-up duty.
Jalen Waddle was your 4th receiver. Well, he's probably the best one. You had Smitty come off the bench to score the winning touchdown as a freshman. 3 years later, he's a Heisman Trophy winner. Henry Ruggs, Judy. When Bama beat Georgia, you had 3 freshmen to come in and play lights out. Najee, Leatherwood, and Smitty. How many other teams can you say, yeah, you know what? Our best player is not even playing good enough. The offensive player of the SEC is not playing good enough. We're just going to put this left-handed quarterback to come in that's a freshman that's going to come in and win an national title. So I get what everyone says about Notre Dame, and you're not going to have that depth when you're at Notre Dame. It's going to be 1 or 2 schools that you can stockpile talent for a long period of time and do that. So other than Alabama, there wasn't other teams in the SEC that was doing it. That's why Bama ran through the SEC.
Good stuff. Good way to end it. And look, guys, look, it's fall camp season's here, man. What Smoke's saying with the loaded of talent, it's no longer there. So I think, remember what was last year where it was just batshit crazy and the SEC just ate itself? I think it's going to even be more nuts this year because that stacking isn't there. So I think we are in for a ride. Get your antacids because it's not going to be as smooth as it used to be. But it's fun. It's going to be fun. Buckle up. I think it's going to be real damn fun.
Coaches got to coach. Players got to play. And everyone that did the great recruiting in your recruiting class was ranked number 1. Your portal class is ranked number 2, 3. Hey, listen, in about 5 weeks,
we're going to find out.
And we're going to find out.
We're going to be here for it. Look, I'm going to reach out. Y'all seen him in the chat. I'm going to reach out to him this week. Ain't no guarantees, but I'm going to see if we can get our man D. Riddle on the show in the next week.
Oh, that's easy. Give me the number. I'll get that. We'll get that.
I'll send you his number. I got his digits. We'll hit D. Riddle, get him on the show. He's really in tune with what's going on in the college football world today. But if you want to be in tune, follow the cast, hit that like and subscribe because we have a huge show tomorrow night. We've had recruits on, but we've got 5-star Xavier Griffin from Georgia, number 1 linebacker prospect in the country, going to be with us on the Bama Standard tomorrow night. So hit that like and subscribe. Smoke, where can
Pettey, let me ask you a question. They know where they can find me. It's coming across that.
Yeah, it's all there. We're here on Mondays, Tuesdays, all that. Follow us there. We're good.
Follow us there. Mondays, Pettey, where we at? 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern.
Me too, Joe Long. Let's go, baby.
Tomorrow we're 6 Central, 7 Eastern tomorrow with the Bama Standard. Who's going to ask Xavier Griffin, why did he flip from school A to go to school B. Are you gonna go ahead and pull that card out and ask?
I'll do it.
Because I think
I ain't scared.
I think the world wants to know.
Let's ask the questions they want to know.
Yeah, we're gonna pull the layers back off of this. We're gonna get deep into 5-star recruiting. So again, I would say, Chad, if you had any questions that you truly want to get asked, jump in early, fire away. The top 5 questions we'll ask and get that done for you guys. But you guys got to tune in. You got to tell your cousin, your brother, your mother, your great-grandmother, because I know a lot of people are living, because we talked about dying earlier. And every fan from Alabama, and even the ones on the West
friends
Coast.
you talk shit to in the locker room, all them.
Come on back.
Joe Long, we're getting pumped for it. Our man, tough as nails. Brian Russell, we appreciate you as always. Penn State Sports Talk. Love getting that Nittany line up in the chat tonight. Brian, Joe, is he still with us? Jimmy Clay. If you're out there, Jimmy Clay, you're the man, buddy. Look, hit that like and subscribe. Like my man Smoke said, we've got a big one. We're going to ask the question, why did he flip from A to, A? Let's A to the A. Tomorrow night, Xavier Griffin. Be with us. Be good. As always, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you next week. Smoke, we're out, brother.
We're in. I'm never out.
Yeah, now we're in.
You inhale smoke. Don't blow it up. There you go.
Unless you're Bill Clinton. See you next time.